Hello and welcome to Wolfman Gaming. This is my Ghostrunner Project Hell DLC walkthrough, and this is level 1 called Another Awakening. A bit like the first level of the main game being called An Awakening. And here in the DLC we step into the boots, shoes, circuit boards of hell. Not sure what the correct terminology would be when it comes to robots. We step into the role is probably the best word for it. As hell, the boss from the main game that we squared off against in level 12. And since hell is alive and well in this DLC, you probably already figured out that this is a prequel to the main game. These events take care an unspecified amount of time before the main game does. And here in Another Awakening, of course, this is the tutorial level of the DLC. And it's good that they have it, because Hell controls a little bit different from Jack. There are slight differences in between them. When you're on the ground, it's basically exactly the same. You can see when I'm using the dash, when I'm holding it down, you see like a line where you're gonna land, much like so. You can turn that off if you want to, but that is standard setting when playing this on normal mode. And also when Hell jumps, I think when Jack jumps it's like a normal jump, but Hell feels almost like she has thrusters in her back, like she gains a bit of momentum when jumping, like she's pushed for a little bit. It's quite hard to explain. If you have played this DLC, and then you'll probably know exactly what I mean. She handles a little bit differently. And this is also an interesting feature of Hell, because you have a rage meter down there in the left corner. You charge it up by either picking up those little power-ups or by killing enemies or deflecting bullets or whatever. It will slowly build up. And if it is above 50% and you take a hit, the rage bar will soak that hit, so you will not die, which is a great thing. It has saved my life more than once playing through this game. And also you can see when you're in combat, you get up on the center part of the screen, on the top part, you see like little arrows. There are 3 arrows. That shows you that there are 3 enemies in this encounter, and you also get markers over the heads of the enemies. And that is also standard on playing this on normal, because I think Hell is a bit more advanced than Jack is. So she is a little bit different. And something something that's quite interesting that you should know if you have come to this walkthrough before having started to play the game. And this is such a stupid design choice when it comes to this game. I was quite amazed when I started playing this and I realized something. Because I remapped some of the controls in the main game to make it fit me better. I love it when you can remap controls, because sometimes you want to usually use the default controls, but sometimes you want to do small tweaks. Either way, I had remapped the controls of the main game, and that is not saved. Like, it's saved for the main game, but when you start up the DLC, any remappings you have done of the controls you have to do again. Which is stupid, because you access the DLC via the main menu on in the main game. It's not like you download this as a separate game. It's very, very odd design. Also, that when you're supposed to press a button to activate something, it only shows the default button for it, even if you have changed which button you interact with. But either way, that is just something to know going into this DLC. If you're watching this video before you start playing it, make sure to change the button layout before you start playing, if you want it a little bit easier, or change the layout to fit you. And also in this walkthrough, something I will show you, there are 7 levels in this DLC, and this walkthrough of course will cover all 7 of them. And 5 of these levels, I think it is, yes, 5 of them have level specific trophies. For this first level, it's a trophy called Grade A for beating this level without dying. The easiest way to do it is, first of all, find a good guide like this one. Preferably this one. I hope this guide is, or that you will feel that this guide is very helpful. And also go back to this level when you have beaten the game, because Hell, much like Jack, has a circuit board that you unlock more of, I think, as the game progresses, and you also get new pieces you can put in it to give you different boosts and different perks, which will make getting Grade A easier. I didn't manage to unlock it during, or I have managed to unlock it, I didn't manage to record me unlocking it, is a more correct term. But all this is a perfectly viable strategy to get it. But this game being very punishing, very challenging, much like the main game, if you don't keep your rage bar above 50%, you will die in one hit. And this game punishes every minor mistake you make. So it can be a bit challenging to get that trophy, but I am confident in your abilities to do so. Use any perks you can get. As I said, the easiest way to get it is go back to this level via level select after beating the game, and just play around with the different perks. There's no punishment for using them, because in the main game your special bar would fill up slowly the more perks you had active. The more Tetris-like pieces you had equipped into your circuit board, the slower your special ability bar would refill. But in this game, there are those boosters that fill up the rage bar are quite often occurring. Is a horrible sentence. They are quite common, so you can use them quite a lot, and you will be able to use Surge even if you push in as many perks as you possibly can. And also something in this level, whenever you are at a loss where you're supposed to go, if you're not following a walkthrough throughout everything, if you get lost, look for yellow cables. They are your indicators and markers where you're supposed to go next. And this is the final room of this level, and this room is by far the simplest. If you've gotten this far without dying, the Grade A trophy is basically in the bag. Because up here in this corner there is one of those boosters that can fill up your rage bar, and you can basically take out the entire room almost from this corner. But there is a twist, of course. First thing to know, when you run up here, immediately look behind you down the stairs you came up. Because there are like those melee enemies with the batons, which is a new addition to the the enemy list in this DLC, sometimes one or two of them will follow you up the staircase. So make sure to turn around and wait for a little bit, and so you don't get stabbed in the back. Because that would be sad if you have gotten this far without dying, since this is the final room. And in this room there are also two of those teleporting enemies from the main game. I think I call them slashers or something. They are the ones that will mess you over in this room. They are not hard. They can shoot those red slashes at you. They are easy to avoid at this distance, but they love to teleport out of the way when you're blasting them with Surge. So this can take some time, but don't get frustrated. Just rebuild your Surge and just slam them with it. And there was the last baton guy. He decided to go up close and personal, try to stop your progress, and we just said no and denied him. And that is the end of the first level, and I want to welcome you to this walkthrough. I hope you'll find it helpful, and I hope you will enjoy it. And I will see you again in my next video. So until next time, this is the Wolfman signing off.